Torn Hearts, a country music duo seek out the mansion of their idol and end up in a twisted series of events. The movie opens up with an interview playing on an old TV. They are interviewing the Dutch sisters. The interviewer asks Hope if she thinks of releasing a solo album, and she denies it. She says that she wouldn't be there without her sister, Harper. The scene shows a house in the meantime, filled with pictures of them. The rest of the house is shown during the interview in the background. They talk about how they are as a team and how they always understand each other. The scene shows the upstairs of the house, and a woman's scream is heard, followed by a gunshot. There is blood coming out from under the door. There are two women, Jordan and Lee, on a stage. They form a band called Torn Hearts, and they are singing in a pub. They get off the stage and get some drinks. Richie, their manager, comes near them and they start talking. Richie tells them that he invited Caleb Crawford to listen to them. He says that Caleb is looking for musicians because there is a new opening act on his tour in the summer. This is a great opportunity for them. They talk with Caleb, and he offers to have some drinks with Jordan. She accepts the offer. They talk, and Jordan asks him if he likes being famous. She tells him that Lee is the one who always wanted to perform to big crowds and get on the big screen. Jordan would be happy if she can just continue writing songs. Then they go to Caleb's house and get intimate. Meanwhile, Richie complains to Lee about Jordan. Lee asks him what she can do about it. She tells him that Jordan is her best friend. They continue arguing until Lee leaves him there. She goes home by herself. Jordan is looking around Caleb's house while talking. Caleb tells Jordan that she has the whole package and that she can have so much more than what she has now. Then, he tells her it will be an all-guys tour in the summer. They argue a bit about it. She sees his photo with Harper. She says that she is a big fan of hers and asks him how they met. Caleb tells her that they were supposed to make a duet, but she called it off. Jordan asks for her home address, and he hesitates at first. He tells Jordan that there is something wrong with Harper, but eventually gives the address. Jordan goes home, and she tells Lee that she has Harper's address. She suggests that they should ask her to record a song with them. Lee doesn't agree at first, but they talk about it. Eventually, she agrees to go see her in the morning, but they are only going to be there for a short time. She bakes Harper a strawberry pie, as it is her favorite. They drive to Harper's house in the morning. They get to an unkempt-looking gate with a giant letter D on it. They use the call box, and Harper answers. They try to introduce themselves, but the woman interrupts them and tells them to go away before she calls the cops. Lee tries to talk to her some more. They reintroduce themselves, and they tell the singer who their manager is. Harper recognizes Richie's name and says that she doesn't like him. Jordan says that they agree with her, but he is all they have right now. She tells Harper that they could use some help from a woman like her who has seen it all. They don't hear anything from her for a while, but the door finally opens just as they were walking away. They laugh and get inside. The girls notice the garden is overgrown, and they get to the door. They find it open and let themselves inside. They start to look around, and Harper comes down the stairs. She invites them in, and the girls start to gush about how much they love her. Lee tells Harper that she baked her favorite pie for her, and Harper responds by saying that was Hope's favorite. Lee apologizes and says that she read that in a magazine when she was young. Harper asks them if they are in a band, and the girls say yes. Then she asks them which one of them is better, and they say they are equally talented. Harper gets up and makes them some drinks, but Jordan says Lee can't drink it plain, so Harper brings her soda. They start talking, and Jordan explains what they do. She says that she plays the guitar, writes songs, and sometimes harmonizes. Lee says she usually sings, and that she loves singing in the shower. She mixes the drinks with her finger. Harper looks at Lee a little intensely, like she noticed something about her. Harper asks them if they are good at what they do. Jordan says they would love to prove it to her. Harper takes them to a room with instruments and recording devices. The girls look around the room and see pictures of Hope and Harper with their awards. Harper tells Jordan to pick up a guitar of her choice. Jordan chooses the one they used in the 1993 tour, and Harper gets a little irritated by it. She then sees Lee touch the mic and warns her not to do it without permission. Lee obeys her right away, and she gets away from it. Harper gives Hope's ring to Lee because she reminds her of Hope. Then they start singing a song called High Highs and Low Lows. Harper suddenly gets up and tells them to stop. They panic, and Jordan says they can play something else, but Harper says that she's doing the duet with them. She will sing that song with them. Harper gets the guitar from Jordan and smashes it by hitting it on the table. She asks if this isn't how all rock stars celebrate. Then she tells them she's getting them some drinks to celebrate and leaves. The girls talk to each other and follow her. They get into the kitchen, and Harper takes out an alcohol bottle. She says to Jordan that it's a lot harder for girls like them. They always stay at the back and do the whole work. Jordan defends Lee, saying that they both work hard, but Harper keeps going. She notices a bug next to Jordan's hand and stabs it. This scares Jordan, and Lee walks in. Harper asks them how they met, and they tell her the story. The topic changes to Richie. Harper tells them that Hope also had some boyfriends who were older than her too. She gets a little emotional, and the girls tell her that Hope's suicide wasn't her fault and she shouldn't feel guilty about it. Harper responds by saying that Hope died in front of her, and she wishes to forget everything. Then she changes the subject to lighten up the mood. They make a toast for Hope, and they start partying. They play cards, sing, dance, and play some more. Jordan wakes up in a pink bed in the morning, dressed in new clothes. She gets up and starts to look around. She gets out of the room and walks around in the hallway. There are costumes and other stuff around the house. She hears Harper and goes to check. She looks through the keyhole and sees her talking. Jordan hears her say that Lee is just like Hope. She stirs her drink, and she even sings in the shower just like Hope. Lee touches Jordan's shoulder, scaring her. They start talking and notice that their phones are missing. Harper comes out behind Jordan and explains that they drank a lot last night and poured the drinks all over them, so she had to change them. She says that Jordan was thinking about driving her car, so she had to take her keys. Then she tells them that she was thinking that maybe they can continue working on their song. Lee says that they can do that, but Jordan stops her and says they need to leave. Harper comes up to her face and says they weren't welcomed to begin with. Then she goes down and they follow her. She demands that they prepare her breakfast while she gets dressed. The girls start arguing while looking around to cook something. They try to cook eggs, but realize that the eggs are rotten. They do make a plate, but with just a few things on it and a piece of moldy bread. Harper gets angry and throws the plate at them. Jordan says that's enough, and they are leaving, but Lee tries to convince her to stay. Jordan opens the door, and Harper runs after her, saying she is sorry. She tries to convince her to stay and tells Jordan that they need her. Jordan stays, and Harper closes the door. She takes them to the basement and opens a door with her fingerprint. They get in, and Harper pours another drink for them. Harper tries to get them to fight. They argue at first, but Harper wants more. She tells them Hope and her would wrestle when they get angry at each other. She tells them to do the same. Jordan refuses and says that she would never hit Lee no matter how mad she is, but Lee slaps her. Jordan stares at her in shock. Lee looks at Harper and tells Jordan to slap her. She provokes Jordan and she slaps Lee. They start hitting each other while yelling. Harper starts to play some music. They punch and kick each other. Jordan slams Lee into the wall and they stop. The doorbell rings and Harper asks if they had invited anyone. Lee says it might be Richie. Harper tells Jordan to stay down there since she doesn't like him, and she leaves with Lee. Harper gives Lee her clothes and tells her to change. Harper and Lee start talking about how Lee is using Jordan for her songwriting. Lee says they both needed a story and it worked for them. Harper shares how she blames herself for Hope's death, but now she is going to help her fix it because Lee can be Hope and Jordan can be Harper. Richie comes in and they start talking. Later on, something catches Jordan's eye. She gets closer to it and pushes the bookshelf. She discovers a secret room with Hope's belongings in it. She starts to look around and sees her notebook that she wrote her songs in, her wigs, and her clothes. She looks at the drawers and sees a finger in a jar. She gets scared and puts it back in, but then she starts looking at the other drawers and she finds other body parts. She gets creeped out, changes her clothes with the ones she found, and gets the finger. She tries it on the lock and the door opens. She goes out on the first floor and starts eavesdropping. Harper says Richie came just in time. Harper needs a favor from him. She says she wants to return to the stage, and the only people who can help her are him and Lee. Richie gets excited and says that they don't need Jordan anyway. Lee notices the empty glasses and goes to fill them up. Jordan hears the whole talk. She confronts Lee about the talk. Jordan tells Lee that she thinks Harper killed Hope, but Lee doesn't take her seriously. Jordan tries to tell Lee about the secret room. Meanwhile, Richie talks with Harper about how great Lee is, while Harper slices the pie. They would be unstoppable together. He keeps talking, and Harper gets angry. She tells him that he talks too much and stabs him in the neck over and over. Richie's body falls to the ground, and she goes out to lock the iron gate. Unaware of what happened, the girls were still arguing. They come out of the kitchen and walk into the hallway. Harper comes down the stairs in a new outfit. Lee asks where Richie is, and Harper says he got out to make a phone call since the service is so bad in the house. Harper takes the girls to the studio room, and they start recording the song that Hope wrote before she died. They get emotional and hug each other. Harper takes the girls to her room and gives them dresses to wear. They change into the clothes Harper gave them and come out, but they start to argue again, thanks to Harper. Harper says that she has never done that with Hope. They have never shared their true feelings. She tells the girls she wants redemption, then gets up and goes to the dressing room. Jordan apologizes to Lee in the meantime, and Harper comes out of the dressing room holding a gun. She gets out and starts to shoot at them. The girls run out, and Harper follows them while she keeps firing the gun. They run to the door, but see that it's locked. Jordan tells Lee to look for the door and windows in the living room. Lee goes there, and she sees the deceased body of Richie. Lee starts to look for a way out, but everything is locked. Harper comes up behind her and starts to shoot, but she misses every single shot. Lee runs away, and Harper follows her. Jordan takes the knife from Richie's neck and tries to attack Harper with it from her back, but Harper notices and they fight. Jordan manages to run away, and she goes next to Lee. Lee tells Jordan that Harper purposely misses. Jordan tells her she has a plan, and they need to go to the basement. Harper starts shooting again, and they run to the basement. Jordan gives Lee one of the guns she found while looking around, but Lee says she can't kill Harper. Harper is at the door, picking up Hope's finger and saying it's almost time. She hears Hope's voice from the secret room and goes there. Harper sees Hope and starts talking to her. She touches her hair and realizes that it is a mannequin. Jordan comes out and attacks her. They fight, and Jordan tells Lee to shoot Harper. Lee shoots Harper in her leg. Harper falls to the ground. They point their guns at each other, and Harper starts to tell them everything. She admits that she killed Hope and now she can fix it with their help. She says Hope wanted to sing and go solo, so Lee can do everything Hope wanted to. Harper says that Lee will be the one who gets out of there. She says that Lee will live to tell this story, because she needs a story to make it big in Nashville. Jordan instantly rejects this, but Lee puts the gun down and backs up. Harper gets up, points her gun toward Jordan, and tells Lee she will count to 3 and they'll do it together. Harper counts down, but Jordan shoots first and kills her. She looks at Harper in shock while trying to explain herself to Lee. Then she turns around and realizes that Harper also shot her. Lee says that Harper is right, she needs a story, and this is the perfect one. She leaves Jordan to die and starts to walk away, but she hears Jordan singing high highs and low lows. She turns around and sees Jordan with a gun in her hand. Jordan shoots her. Lee falls to the ground as well. The scene shifts to Caleb, getting interviewed about his latest song. It is the same one Harper, Lee, and Jordan recorded. He sings the song, while the scene shows Harper's house, covered in blood. Richie, Harper, Lee, and Jordan are all in the house. Their bodies are laying on the ground.